Aloha everyone and welcome. I've gotten requests, in fact I got a request from a balloon artist in Hawaii. Sent me an email asking me for instructions on this particular balloon, so I'm going to include it on this DVD. So I'm going to have my wife zoom in close on this. I want you to take a look at the eye. If you've looked at my other videos, you know I'm not much of an artist when it comes to drawing. But if you can take a look at that, that's how I draw those on there. And we use the very end of the balloon to make the horn on top of the unicorn, okay? Now I'm going to turn it just a little bit this way so you can see. We make the mane out of 6 bubbles. I'll show you how we do that. And then the horn actually is these 2 bubbles and then one single bubble with a little bit left for the horn. This is actually separate from the mane. We do the mane at the first, we do this at the end, and then there'll be a bubble in here we'll pop to finish this balloon. It's a little bit complicated for the beginners, but I want to include it on this one to give you something to reach for, okay? So I'm going to set this aside, then we'll get started, all right? I've already inflated. I like to make this creation out of that, I'll call it light blue or powder blue. Make it out of any color you want, but I think it looks the best in this color. Now I've inflated that balloon about, I'm going to say about 14 inches, 15 inches. Okay, maybe about 2/3 of the way. I still have about 1/3 of that balloon uninflated, okay? And you can adjust this one a little bit as you go. Remember, burp the balloon a little bit so it's a little bit softer to start. And I'm going to trim the nozzle off. I suppose you don't have to, but when you'd be done, if you left it on there, the unicorn would be sticking his tongue out, okay? Let's start. We're going to twist about 1.5 inch bubble, okay? That's going to be the nose. Now let's twist another 1.5 inch bubble. Okay, now I'm going to twist 3 1/2 inch bubbles in a row, all right? Now hold these 2 bubbles in your left hand while you twist these, and they won't come undone if you do that, okay? Now, if you're left-handed, hold them in your right. Do it that way. But I don't want to confuse you. Okay, 3 1/2 inch bubbles. I'm going to hold these up and show them to you, okay? 3 1/2 inch bubbles. 1.5 inch bubble, 1.5 inch bubble, 3 1/2 inch bubbles. Now let's lay those 3 1/2 inch bubbles along the second 1.5 inch bubble and twist them. Okay, that's half of the mane. I wonder why they call that a mane. Something to ponder. Now let's twist 3 more 1/2 inch bubbles. And there's 3. Now what we're going to do is we're going to lay those 3 alongside the first 3 we did. And then we're going to roll the first 3 over the second 3. I bet you were wondering how we were going to get all 6 of those to stay in place. Now, if you can see that, that worked rather well, didn't it? You do the first 3, the second 3, and then roll it over. Just like when you're doing a basic bird body, you roll it through. Well, that's what you do, but you're only using the 2. But if you think about it, this is the 3rd section, isn't it? Pretty tricky. Okay, now let's twist another 1.5 inch bubble, followed by another 1.5 inch bubble. Now the sizes can vary on this a little bit. Don't get your tape measure out and start measuring. If they're 1.75 inches, that's fine. You'll learn by practice how big you can make each segment to allow you to have enough balloon left to finish, okay? Practice, same way you get to Carnegie Hall. Practice, practice, practice. Okay, now let's twist about a 2 inch bubble. This is going to be the body. You guessed it, now we got to make the rear legs. So we're going to do an 1.5 inch bubble, followed by another 1.5 inch bubble. Okay? Twist those together to lock those together. We're getting close, aren't we? But that's the horn, and it's got to be up here, doesn't it? This is how we're going to do that. Let's twist about a 3/4 inch bubble right here. Now we're going to ear twist that. And so that means we're going to twist end to end. Remember from the beginning of the video when I explained the twist? End to end. We're going to take this end to this end. Go sideways. I'm going to try to show that to you, but it's going to be difficult. Okay? So review back to when we did the twist at the beginning of this video and do an ear twist on that. At least 4 half turns, 6 or 8 would be better. Okay, now we're going to take the remainder here. I just want to have about an inch bubble to bring up here on top of the head to make the two bubbles and then the horn bubble. I almost call them ears. I guess you could call them that. So let's twist about an inch bubble off here. Now bear in mind, if you have more air left in the balloon or less, the bubble here on top of that ear twist might be bigger or smaller. We don't worry about that because we're going to pop this bubble to finish the sculpture, okay? So we have about an inch bubble here with the uninflated portion. Now let's twist the 2 half-inch bubbles, okay, on that, which actually makes 3. We twisted 1, 2, and then it leaves us with a little portion with the uninflated part. Take the first half-inch bubble and twist it right around the base of the nose here, right where the name starts, okay? Now I like to go around that 3 times, okay? Now take the second half-inch bubble, lay it beside the first, and then take the bubble with the horn around the base of the nose there 3 times. Now sometimes, it didn't happen this time, but I'm going to explain it to you, because it will happen to you eventually. When I'm doing that, the front legs will come untwisted sometimes. Don't worry about that. If they do, just twist them back. I don't know why that happens sometimes, but it does. Now this doesn't look like it's supposed to yet, does it? But this is when I like to take my black pen, wherever I put my black pen. Oh, I've done something with it. Oh, there it is. Thanks, Fritzy. Gotta have a partner that keeps an eye on your stuff for you. Okay, now remember, I like those Sharpies with the push button because you never have to worry about where the cap is. And so now I'm going to draw the eyes on, which we already showed you. I only make girl unicorns, that's why I put the eyelashes on. Okay, now this bubble between the ear twist and the 2 bubbles behind the horn, we're going to pop that. You can use your envelope opener. I like to give it a dramatic effect, so I'll just pinch it in my fingers a little bit and snap them to break it. Just like that. A little bit of a wow factor, okay? Do whatever works the best for you. And that is how you make a blue unicorn. Now, for my friends in the islands, mahalo for asking me to show you how to make that, and aloha until we meet again.